Hey guys, it's Mikexingchen. So the day is almost here. Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens, will be here soon. And if you are a true Star Wars fan, I'm sure you've at least at some point thought about how cool it will be to travel to all these awesome worlds that are in a galaxy far, far away. Well, you sort of can. And I'm not talking about cruising there in the Millennium Falcon, which would be awesome, but you can visit actual locations where many of the film's most iconic scenes were shot. Number 1. Luke Skywalker's house. Other than the Death Star, Tatooine is arguably the most recognized location in Episode 4. So if you ever wanted to visit Luke Skywalker's childhood home, then go to Hotel City Dress located in Matmata in Tunisia. This hotel has become one of the most famous filming locations of Star Wars, nicknamed the Star Wars Hotel. The Berbers actually built the underground structure as a real home centuries ago, and it was eventually turned into a hotel, which George Lucas used to film the first Star Wars film. The set decorations came down, but were rebuilt in 2000 for Attack of the Clones. Since then, they've remained, so you can actually go and eat at the same table as young Luke Skywalker. The igloo exterior of Luke's house was also filmed in Tunisia on the dried-up salt lake of Chateau Jared. The igloo from the 1977 movie was of course dismantled, but it was rebuilt again for Attack of the Clones and later restored by a fan. And you can reach it by car following these coordinates. And I promise I'm not sending you to a Sarlacc pit. Number 2. Endor. Ewoks. You either love them or you hate them. I personally think they're super evil and have an appetite for human flesh. Remember when they tried to roast Han and Luke? Also, after they destroyed the Death Star, the Rebels and the Ewoks threw a massive celebration. What do you think was on the grill? My guess is barbecued stormtrooper skewers. And I bet they told Luke and them that it was, Endor chicken. I think most people like Ewoks because, yeah, they're cute, but come on, tigers are cute, don't mean they won't eat you. Cats are cute, don't mean they're not constantly plotting your eventual demise. Anyway, Endor, the forest moon, home of the furry Ewoks, was actually filmed among California's giant redwoods. Because of heavy logging, unfortunately, most of the landscape is unrecognizable, but you can still get a feel of Endor by driving through the parks, especially along the highway through the Avenue of the Giants, where the famous speeder bike scenes were filmed. I've actually been there and it is super awesome. Number 3. Hoth. If you love The Empire Strikes Back and ever want to visit the ice world of Hoth, then just walk into a giant freezer or head to the tiny village of Finns, Norway. The main battlefield scenes were shot on a glacier near the Finns 1222 hotel where the cast actually stayed, and where snowstorm scenes were shot from the back door, because that place snows and has sub-zero temperature for most of the year, and there's deadly crevasses all over the place. So it is a very high-risk trip for Star Wars fans to just go and take pictures of snow. But if you do insist on going there instead of basically any random winter location in Minnesota, then may the Force and maybe a Tauntaun be with you. Number 4, where Anakin and Padme got married. Or I like to call the moment Anakin began his journey to the dark side. This is for all you sappy Star Wars fans out there. In Attack of the Clones, Anakin and Padme went into hiding at a lake resort while Obi-Wan Kenobi tracked down those responsible for attempts on Padme's life. And this is where the secret marriage of Anakin Skywalker and Padme Amidala took place. In real life, the Villa del Bianello on Italy's Lake Como was originally a monastery built in 1787 for Cardinal Angelo Maria Dorini, but is now a coveted wedding destination. The villa's exteriors were digitally altered for the Star Wars movie, but it's easy to find and recognize the balcony where Anakin and Padme shared their first kiss. Number 5, the Forest of Naboo. This, of course, is where Jar Jar Binks first met Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace. And if you want to check it out, then just go to Whippendale Woods, an ancient woodland on the edges of Watford, England. Gungans like Jar Jar live in underwater cities, but sorry to disappoint some of you, there are no underwater cities in Whippendale Woods. There's not even a lake. So, of course, all the shots with water were created with digital effects. Number 6, Royal Palace of Theed. When Padme and Anakin arrived in Theed, the capital city of the planet Naboo, at a plaza out outside of the palace, they were actually in the Plaza de Espana, which is a massive semicircular structure located in the heart of Seville, Spain. Although you can only see this location for about 48 seconds in episode 2, you can see much more of it in the deleted scene Extended Arrival on Naboo. For the scenes in Attack of the Clones and The Phantom Menace, the plaza was dramatically expanded to a full circle, and the building altered to include the towers and green domes. Number 7. Obi-Wan's first meeting with Luke. Although most of Tatooine was shot in Tunisia, crucial scenes in A New Hope, like Obi-Wan's first meeting with Luke, were filmed in Death Valley, between the Sierra Nevada mountains and the Mojave Desert. Today, you can actually take a self-guided tour of some of the sites like Desolation Canyon, where the Tusken Raiders were preparing to attack Luke. And probably the most well-known is 20 Mule Team Canyon Road, an unpaved one-way lightly used track within Death Valley that was used for the scenes in Return of the Jedi where C-3PO and R2-D2 travel to Jabba the Hutt's palace. Number 8. The Great Pit of Carkoon. Located within the northern Dune Sea on the planet Tatooine, this large sand pit was home to the Sarlacc that eats Jabba's prisoners in Return of the Jedi. Again, instead of returning to Tunisia, the filmmakers decided to go to the sand dunes of Buttercup Valley, California, and the crew stayed in the closest town, Yuma, Arizona, while filming. It was not easy to film at that location because on a good day, the temperature would be 120 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was especially bad for the Gormorian guards in their suits. The sail barge was also constructed there, and it was so big that the crew used the space underneath it for offices and even a 150 people dining room. Number 9. Mos Eisley. Mos Eisley was a large spaceport town on the planet Tatooine. It was the largest settlement on the planet and generally known as the armpit of the galaxy, and probably best known to us as the setting for the infamous
These aren't the droids you're looking for.
In reality, these scenes were filmed on the beautiful upscale beach resort island of Jerba. To the west of Jerba, you'll find Obi-Wan Kenobi's house, located on the Mediterranean Sea and used by local fishermen as a small storage house. And if you follow these coordinates, you'll find a building at the small fishing port of Ajim, where the exterior was modified to become the entrance to the famous Mos Eisley Cantina. Oh, and droids are still not allowed. Number 10. Luke Skywalker's new home. In Episode 7, The Force Awakens, Luke Skywalker's new home is reportedly Ireland's Skellig Michael. Filming for The Force Awakens was confirmed at the ruins of the 7th century monastery, which sits on the steep sides of the island. The location is also not for the faint of heart. Its isolation and unforgiving terrain were once deemed ideal for monks seeking solitude, so I guess it's perfect for a Jedi's home. Even though it's a World Heritage Site, Ireland actually discourages many visitors to this place, as only 180 people per day are allowed to visit the island, weather permitting of course. And these visits are very well controlled and supervised with a dedicated pathway for the tourists, while more sensitive areas are closed off to the public. And I'm guessing after the release of this new movie, everybody's gonna want to go to this place, and I bet Ireland would love nothing more than to tell those Star Wars fans this is not the island you're looking for. Number 11. Yavin 4. In real life, the habitable moon of Yavin 4, seen in A New Hope, is something truly spectacular. Amongst 357 square miles, or 575 square kilometers, of jungle rainforest is the ruined Guatemalan city of Tikal, which more than capably doubles as the rebel base. Built around 400 BC, Tikal played an important part in Mayan history and became the focal point for cultural activity. Although nobody really knows what happened to the Mayans, so hopefully the Sith wasn't involved, but plenty of the temples still poke their heads out from above the greenery, including Temple 4, which in Episode 4 made the perfect lookout for rebel guards as the rebels prepared to launch their attack on the Death Star. And just to geek out with you guys a little bit, I'm going to tell you about my Star Wars experiences. The first is I actually worked with Dark Horse on 2 of these books. This is Boba Fett and the Ship of Fear, and the other one I worked on was Luke Skywalker and the Dragon Snake. I didn't draw them and I didn't write for them. Back in the day, I had a brief career as an agent, so I actually repped the artist who drew these 2 books. And this is kind of cool. This is a lightsaber. Well, not a real lightsaber. I wish it was a real lightsaber. How do I even... Ooh, yeah. Yeah, this is like the dark side lightsaber. This is actually signed by probably the most less known Anakin Skywalker Jake Lloyd, he played the young Anakin Skywalker in The Phantom Menace. So he actually signed my lightsaber. I think it's pretty cool, young Anakin in a lightsaber. You probably couldn't recognize this guy now. Here, take a look. Here's what he used to look like in The Phantom Menace and what he looks like now. He's the guy in the picture who's not Asian. But guys, let me know in the comments if you would actually choose the light side or the dark side. And give me your reasons for both. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you later.